Hey YouTube, Team Stronghold here. Doing an updated deck profile on my Chaos Stall Fun deck. This is version 2.0. I did some major changes to this. I didn't like the way it was playing, so it no longer runs synchros. I thought the synchros were a little inefficient, and I also really didn't have any spare synchros to put in the extra deck anymore. Got like a Junk Destroyer and a Junk Warrior, so I took out the Tuningware and the Junk Warrior after I found out about a ruling I didn't know about previously. It's the one where if you bring back Tuningware with Junk's effect, you can't sync for level 5, it only makes level 4s. I really didn't know that. So, after that, I really don't feel like Junk is such a free level 5 when you don't run any level 2s. So, yeah, this is the updated version. I took out the Junk Synchron, I took out all the tuners. Just felt like they weren't giving me efficiency, so it no longer has an extra deck. But now I run a side deck that I threw together of random cards, so it's not too... the side deck isn't... It's kind of a bunch of weird random cards, but some of the stuff is in there for a reason, and some of it I would be side decking even if I didn't. If it wasn't random cards, and some of the stuff, of course, is commons that I happen to have. Okay, so let's get to the profile. I'm still running the Triple Sorcerer main deck. The potential to plus off that is simply too good. And again, still got my 2 Faders main decked as well. Now I'm running Double Kaiku main decked. I like the anti-meta type attack power he gives me. He's also some of the major attack power I have in the deck. And a lot of the meta gets hurt when you remove their monsters in grave, so Kaiku's a decent beat stick, and he helps with removal. Next up we have 2 Mystic Tomatoes to get my Reapers and my Sanguine. I think that's all the targets I have for them anyway. Yeah, Reapers and Sanguine with Mystic Tomato. So it's consistent at 2. Pretty sure it was in there last time. Then of course my double Reaper that I had last time as well. Again, my quality is really bad on all my videos. So, because my camera takes a couple hours to upload, so I just shoot them off my webcam. So, then Dad, Gores, and then, personal attack here, Breaker. He's good as a beat stick, and there's so much field spells, permanent control, back row. In case you haven't noticed, this is a really back row heavy format. So he's basically a Lila with no mills. Then, of course, Sanguine, rounding out my dark count. The dark count is massively inflated compared to the lights. It always is, because it's really hard to find cheap lights that you can play that don't mill, that are good in this deck. At the moment, I've entered this deck into a contest for Triple Thunder King. If I win that, I'm going to main deck all 3 of those, simply because I need more light. Not sure what I would take out right now, because I doubt I'm going to win, but I'm hoping that they'll let me replace my old deck profile with this one, because this one's even weirder than the last. Because, again, guys, this isn't what I play in tournaments, because, I don't have money to throw away on going to tournaments just for fun. If I had extra money so I could go to tournaments for fun every now and then, I would totally take this to a tournament one of these days and just sit around spamming random cards and watch, just for the look on my opponent's face, but I don't have money to throw away on admission. I know I wouldn't top with this, so normally when I go to tournaments I play something like Gravekeepers or Fish, but when I'm hanging out with my friends or when I have a fun duel, I usually play this. Although when they're playing Gravekeepers, I get really pissed off, as my brother will tell you, if you ever meet him, which I doubt you will. Anyway, I've been rambling, and this video is getting fairly long, so I'm just going to go on to the lights. It's fairly small. 1 DD Warrior Lady. Like her for the stun aspect. And of course, if she gets destroyed, she's still in the graveyard and she's still alive. And I like being able to fetch her with Shining Angel. Shining Angel fetches Cyber Valley and DD Warrior Lady. I still main deck the one Cyber Dragon. Wish I had more to main deck, and I wish I had over dragons. Hunter main decked, because I really can't think of any other whites to play. I'll side him out against like Chaos Plants, but he can be helpful game one. Got my Marshmallow still, and my Copycat. So I think it plays like 23, 24 monsters now. Still a large monster count, which means Gravekeepers is an awful matchup for me. So I side fairly heavy against them, but most of my sides are fairly ineffective, so I don't like playing Gravekeepers with this. That's why I don't take it to tourneys. So yeah, this video is getting pretty long, so I'm going into the spells. Still got my triple smash and ground main deck. I'm liking the destruction ability of it. Double MST. 1-for-1. Swords, Trunade, Book of Moon, Darkhold, Monster Reborn. And then decided to add this new, it's like personal tech, because I don't think there's that much piercing going around, so I have Scapegoat main decked. Scapegoat. I think it's a great way to block attacks. It's also a chainable, and that's kind of the new theme I decided to add to my deck. I decided that with fish going around, chainables are good. Like, okay, when a fish player goes Trunade, you know they're making their push for game. So, say they flip Trunade, I flip Scapegoat, they're screwed over. Most fish players cannot get over Scapegoat in time to OTK. So, now into my traps, and you'll see my new emphasis on chainables in this. Now playing double Waboku main decked. I find that these preservation traps, like Waboku, they're a great way to bait out MSTs. You bait an MST to this, chain it. You're not minus anything, which is the main problem with these. And you also basically preserved your monsters for a turn. Like, see, like Chaoses. When I've got a Chaos summoned, for some reason, a lot of the time they seem to get run over, so when I use Waboku, I can get rid of the run over it niche thing. I also like Waboku because even though there is only one Honest out there in most decks, it can bait out Honest. They activate Honest, I go damage step Waboku. So they -1, or they minus Honest, which is good. And then, of course, I still got my double Threatening Roar main deck, or I bumped the Threatening Roar up from 1 to 2, like the double Threatening Roar main deck. And then, so, Torrential, Mirror Force, Call the Haunted, and then, rounding out the 40, I think it's like 41 or 42. Anyway, rounding out the deck, I've got my personal tech, Malevolent Catastrophe. I like the ability to plus it gives me, and this deck doesn't really set much, so I feel like it's decent with all the... I think the average count of a deck now is like 15 monsters, which I think is just ridiculous. Okay, so now into my side deck. Hope you can see that. Yeah, okay, side. So, siding double Lightning Vortex for Samurais, and basically anything that swarms the field especially well. Double Lightning Vortex for them. Then I would have these double Deep Prison, but instead I don't have spare Deep Prisons, so double Saku. Side decked. And then personal tech in against Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers Guard. Because, okay, let's say you set him turn 1. They summon something and attack him. No Gravekeeper's monster with Necro Valley on the field or without can get over Gravekeeper's guard. And he also gets rid of their advantage. And the biggest thing for Gravekeepers is to go off and start controlling the board. They need to get 2 monsters on board. If you don't let them get 2 monsters on board, and then you've got a wall. So basically what I do is I set him. They attack, stall for a turn, bounce 1. They've lost their advantage. They don't have board advantage anymore, which sucks when you're playing Gravekeepers. And then they can't get over this guy, so they're going to have to waste something to get over him, to get rid of him. They're going to use one of their outs to get rid of him. So, he's really great. I find that he's great in the side deck against Keepers. It's just awesome. Didn't realize how good he was. And then also against Gravekeepers, got my Nobleman of Crossout. And then, in case someone's playing something against special summons, I have Swift Scarecrow side decked. I'm thinking about putting my other Battle Fader in here in his place, but for the moment I think Scarecrow's just fine. And then against the Samurai matchup, I've got 1 Kinetic Soldier and 1 Puppet Plant. I don't have more than 1 of each, so just got these here. And then the rest of my side deck is kind of weird. I've got Nobleman of Extermination against Trap Heavy matchups. Chain Destruction. This helps a lot against Gravekeepers. I know there's going to be somebody who says, well, they can just get the stuff you send with steel back. Well, okay. So, see, the thing about steel is they want to use it late game. They don't want to have to use it early game. Because, okay, the thing I've noticed about GKs is if you stall them out, they stall out. Like, really freaking easy. So, say they summon Recruiter. I flip Chain Destruction. Send the other 2 Recruiters from deck to graveyard. So, basically, they're sitting on no Recruiters, so they're going to have to use a Steel to get them back to hand. And then their hand will be jammed, so they won't be able to activate Royal Tribute later. Which, of course, I find really helpful since I play like 28 monsters. So this I just think is an all-around decent card for the matchup. It also helps when I run into like Lone Fires and stuff, because I can send the other ones. Actually, no, not Lone Fires. What am I thinking of? Swap Frogs. Swap Frogs and stuff like that. I send the other 2 Swap Frogs, so they don't top deck into any more Swap Frogs, or, although that's not really that great, I wouldn't side them in against that, but, anyway, and then I've got, also for the Gravekeeper matchup, I've got my Twister side decked. It would be a Dust Tornado, but I don't have any spares of those either. I know it's kind of sad when you don't have any spare Dust Tornadoes, but I don't. Econ, just a general card that doesn't fit in my main deck, so I sided in a lot. And then finally, Return from the Different Dimension. I also side this in a lot. Basically, anytime they're playing anything to remove, which most people side in DD Crows against me. DD Crows, Crevice from the Different Dimension, all kinds of graveyard hate. So be sure to side this in, flip it up, OTK them with the stuff they removed. Okay, so that's the deck. It's playing fairly well. I mean, it's still obviously a fun deck, as evidence, but it's playing better and more consistently as long as you don't get Royal Tributed first turn. I played my brother a couple times. Anyway, peace. This video is getting a little long. I'm probably going to submit this to the Team Avalanche's contest. Remember to check them out and subscribe. Just search them. I'm sure they'll come up. I don't really want to put a link in the description. Anyway, I'm going to submit this to their contest, so peace.